Good morning, folks. Jim Giacchetta here, President of Vidovation. Thank you, folks, for agreeing to spend some time with us. And we're going to talk about IPTV and video networking as it applies for educational applications. So let's dive right in. So some of you may know who we are. Just a little background. Vidovation and our extended team. We have over 50 years experience in the broadcast, sports, corporate AV, education, government markets. We're a leading provider of data and communication systems. One of our big differentiators is that we listen to our clients. We try to help discover those pain points and try to help our clients achieve their goals. We pride ourselves on doing the impossible and never been done before, and we align these solutions with your everyday goals. So a few years ago, the National Hockey League came to us and they had a pain point. The pain point was sometimes hockey goals were being missed or called incorrectly. So we listened to our client, and through the discovery process, through the discovery of all the different pain points that they had, we were able to develop a customized wireless in-net goal camera system for them. So not everyone out there is going to need a wireless goal camera, but it's just an example of how we listen to our clients, we get involved in their business, and we help them solve the pains and issues that they have in their businesses. And hopefully we can come up with a solution to meet those challenges. If not, you know, it's all about the client. If we can't do it, we'll find someone that can and make a referral. So that's a little bit about who we are. So let's dive right in. So we get asked this all the time. Well, I have a television distribution system in my corporation or on my college campus. Why do if it ain't broke, why do I need to fix it? So I'll tell you a little bit about the systems that you're probably already using or what most people are using today, and I'll discuss the benefits of why you may want to make a switch. So the old systems were traditionally analog, clunky RF cable distribution. The cables are thick and heavy, and they clog up your conduits on campus or in your enterprise environment. You need amplifiers, splitters, extenders, and it's just very old technology. These systems now are pushing high definition. There's modulation schemes, QAM modulation that allows you to push data or digitized video through the system, but there's limitations, and we'll discuss some of those limitations. Overall, traditionally, a coaxial distribution or RF distribution system is not scalable, or scalability is very limited. You'll be limited in the number of channels you can use, and the most important factor is you're limited to where the video can be distributed to. In a satellite TV or a cable TV distribution system, you can only distribute to this given set-top box. With IPTV, we'll show you how you not only can stream to the desktop set-top box, but you can stream to the Mac or the PC desktop. So your students, whether they're in the classroom or in the dorm, they can watch television content, whether live or pre-recorded, on their computers. They don't need a television. They don't need a set-top box. We can take it a step further where we can stream to a smartphone, a tablet, whether it's iOS or Android. So we also give the ability, if you choose so, that people can stream video when they're off campus. So a student is on break, but they have a term paper due and they have to do some research, watch some videos, whatever it might be, see a pre-recorded lecture that they missed. They can do it from home. They can do it while traveling. They can do it while on break. And the traditional RF or satellite RF distributed system cannot offer those features. It's just constrained or limited. So let me dive in a little deeper here. So here's your typical college campus, but what are some of the things we can accomplish with an advanced IPTV or Vidovation TV system? So there's kind of two fundamental aspects when it comes to live TV. One is in the classroom for educational purposes. You're studying history, maybe there's a segment on the History Channel that you want to present to your students. So that's in the classroom. But then there's the educational aspect and possible additional revenue aspect where you are going to provide television services to the students while in the dorm. So they can get a cable-like environment or satellite environment in the dorm room. They can watch TV. And then again, most students these days probably have some sort of a tablet or smart device, and you don't need to provide them with a television. They can watch right from their iPad or their Android tablet. So the dorms or the education is one aspect, but also the learning or e-learning, as we call it, in the classroom. And then I touched on the whole distance learning aspect. More and more colleges are offering online classes, or if a student misses a class for whatever reason, there's a scheduling conflict, or they're sick, or they're at home or traveling, we can distribute that content over distance through the public internet. Healthcare education. So if it's a medical school, you can connect to the hospital educational system or IPTV system. So in a cable TV system, you would have to have a head end in every building, across campus or across town. With an IPTV system, as long as there's a network connection between campuses, between buildings, we can share information amongst different locations. We have corporate clients, broadcast clients, studio, film and television studio clients that will distribute video from LA to New York and New York to LA, and they share their video across the network. In a college environment, there could be collaboration between different schools, the main campus, the medical school, the law school. They could be on different sides of town, and we can share the video content across the common network. Then, I touched on the digital library, pre-recorded classes. This could be any kind of digital or video-on-demand content. It could be pre-recorded entertainment, HBO movies, libraries, that sort of thing. But then it could also be an archive of classes, webinars, extended educational material that's important to the curriculum. In addition to just pre-recorded video, from the educational standpoint, the students can record their own educational programming, like at home, DVR or TiVo. We offer solutions where you can record locally on the desktop or on the set-top box, but most IT departments like storage or recording in a centralized location. So we can help our clients make these fundamental IT type or topology type decisions. And then more and more every day we get asked, so I want to put live TV, video on demand, I want to organize my library of videos, but I also want to push signage, digital signage, dynamic signage as it can be called. And this could be as simple as the daily specials in the cafeteria on campus, or the mixer that's happening that night, or well, I don't know if the school wants to advertise fraternity parties, but you get the idea that you can put any type of informational changes in the scheduling, that sort of thing. Or very important, particularly on college campuses, emergency alerts. If there's some sort of disturbance on campus, they can put the campus in lockdown and have every TV, television display on campus tell everyone to go into lockdown mode because there's some event on campus or there's a fire or some emergency. So emergency alert has become more and more important, as well as the live TV, the digital signage. And then again, as I mentioned, the thing that really sets Vidovation apart is not only streaming to TVs, smart TVs, set-top boxes, but the desktop, the smartphone, and the tablet. So I really, really want to emphasize those points. So not to be too technical, I don't know how technical some of you guys are out there, but here's a little overview of what an IPTV system might look like, some of the block diagrams. And what's nice about these systems is that they all tie into the Active Directory. Not to be too technical, but it's all locked down with the network security that IT has put in place. So if a student logs into the network and they have access to certain resources on the computer network of the university, the same can apply to television and video content. So if they're a freshman student and they're registered in this particular track, they have access to the video on demand for those for videos or educational videos that are pertinent to the classes that they're taking. You wouldn't want the business school students seeing some of the law school videos because they didn't pay for that. That's not their track. So IT and registration and administration can control all of this from the common computer network. So everything integrates very nicely together through the Active Directory or the school directory system. So this just sits in as part of the network. Then we got different layers, different functionality, and you can take baby steps with your system. You can just say, well, today I only want live TV. I don't want video on demand. Everything comes in steps or increments. Usually there's a 1RU server appliance that applies to a given feature. So you have your basic IPTV management system, then you add video on demand, excuse me, and then there's a module for electronic program guide or interactive program guide. And some vendors, they go on the internet and they scrape, as we call it, or borrow the electronic program guide from public information on the web. And the problem with that is it's not always up to date. So we work with Tribune and we give you a up-to-date, for your time zone, a very hyper-accurate electronic program guide of what is playing on live television at that given moment. The middleware is the special sauce. That is what creates the IPTV environment. It controls the look and feel you see on the TV, on the desktop, on the smart appliance, on your iPad. So that's the special sauce. Digital rights management is an important thing. The studios or the content providers, they want to make sure that their content is protected. And again, it depends where the content is coming from and your negotiated license with your cable provider or your satellite provider, whether or not a digital rights management server is needed. And we help you with those decisions. If it's part of a student's homework, let's say, to watch a certain video, IT can provide the teachers with a usage report so we can see whether or not a student watched the required video, or you can just track analytics and usage on the network. Are people actually using the IPTV system? Is video on demand being used heavily? So maybe we want to build out more capability, that sort of thing. And I keep harping on or concentrating on the fact that this is for students, but this could be for teachers, for administrators, for employees on campus, where they can watch HR videos and training videos, compliance videos. So it's not just for the students, it's for the whole organization to use. Then depending upon where the content comes in from, so for example, Dish Network and DirecTV, they offer enterprise-grade receiver platforms that spit out IP, TV, or MPEG-2 or MPEG-4, and we may not need to encode. If it's coming over the air or from a cable provider, we may need some hardware to translate or de-encapsulate the QAM video. Again, I don't want to be overly technical. So whatever gateway devices or translation devices, transcoding or encoding devices, again, we can work with your service provider, or we can set you up with a service provider and figure out some of these pieces you might need to get the video onto the network. And again, the little digital rights management piece may or may not sit right here. Then the whole DVR or network, here's a new acronym for you, Networked Personal Video Recorder. You know, we're all used to the term digital video recorder, DVR. So here's a Network Personal Video Recorder. Another acronym is it's Time Shift TV. So we're not going to watch the TV now. We're going to shift it in time and watch it later. It's just a fancy way of saying recording TV. So we give you the ability to record TV. You can buy more sophisticated set-top boxes and do the recording in the box. Most IT people are like, I'm not too comfortable with that. I'd rather record it, have this in the IT domain, have some network storage. Here's the cool thing too, is if you record in the IT domain, let's say every student wants to record the Super Bowl. So there's hundreds of requests to record a Super Bowl. The system's smart enough not to make 100 copies. It records it once and it points everyone's record session to that single copy. So you don't waste storage, you don't waste network resources recording 100 copies of the Super Bowl. So that's an added advantage of recording in the centralized location. So, you know, as I mentioned, you know, what's in the head end, you know, pictures are 1,000 words. Here's a little verbal description, but, you know, basically we'll need some appliances, some servers, you know, 1, 2, or 3 1RU devices. A lot of IT departments are doing virtual machines where the server array is virtualized, and we can work that way where we will put a server, our server software, on your virtual server. So for your IT guys out there, we do support that capability. For larger installs, for a typical college campus, one head end is probably enough, but for a major television studio, you might want clustering, as we call it in the IT world, where we have multiple servers ganged together to support a higher capacity, you know, more than 5,000 sessions simultaneously. Or you might, if you're a major studio, you have an East Coast New York head end and a West Coast LA head end. But most universities that won't be necessary. Again, not to be overly technical, but a fundamental thing in saving network bandwidth is streaming multicast. And what that means is a single video stream can be watched by multiple people, so hence the term multicast. A unicast stream, you have to set up a stream for each session. So if you have 500 kids watching, you know, CBS on a given night, in a unicast environment, you'd have to have 500 streams, and that can get troublesome in that it'll use too much of the network bandwidth. In a multicast stream, there's one stream, and it gets shared by the students, so the network is not overtaxed by having too many unicast streams. And again, we will work with your IT department in, we want to make sure we can enable your network multicast, and you know, unless your switches and your routers are you know, more than 10 years old, we should be able to help your network, help your IT department multicast, enable your network We also want to make sure you have enough of a backbone capacity. The multicast streams sit in the backbone, and then when a request is made, it comes down the network segment to your appliance, to your iPhone, to your set-top box. So again, I don't want to get too technical, but again, we will work with your IT department, get them comfortable with the idea of having live TV on their network. We won't do anything that will crash the network. We know our IT friends that their livelihood depends on not crashing the network. So we will work closely with everyone involved and make sure nothing happens to the critical aspects of the network. And then, as I touched on, the TV servers, digital rights management servers, billing modules. So again, this might apply more to the dorm. If the students are paying for television access, the billing can be tied to their dorm room. They could log in with their network credentials in order to set up a billing event for the university to add it to their monthly or their quarterly bill. Remote management, this comes into play for emergency alerts. The chancellor needs to speak because there's some emergency. The school administrator, IT can switch all the boxes, all the sessions to a preset emergency channel, or if the dean of the school, the president, the chancellor of the school wants to make a speech, you can force every TV in the network to a given channel. If there's service upgrade patches to the set-top boxes, that can be done from the remote location in the management portal of the IPTV or the Vidovation TV server. So again, some of this might be a little redundant. Digital turnarounds. That's another way of saying, transcoders, gateway devices, translating the video as it comes into a format that's friendly and compatible with the IPTV system. Again, the middleware is the special sauce that binds all this together. It creates the user environment on the desktop. NDVR network, personal video recorders, time shifting, servers for that as well. So again, this is the real reason why we feel our clients should upgrade to an IPTV or a Vidovation TV system. It's streaming to all forms of media devices, TVs, PCs, tablets, smart TVs too. Certain smart TVs we're compatible with. We have an app that will run on an LG or a Samsung smart TV, and you don't need a set-top box then. We'll play on the desktop. I'll show you pictures of these smartphones, tablets, Apple, Android, and then we'll virtually go over any network, whether it's a wired network, fiber optic network, Wi-Fi, or WiMAX network. We can essentially work over in any network. We can work on unicast if that's all that's available to us, but if all these networks can be made multicast enabled, that would be ideal. So aside from our industry-shattering middleware, the glue that holds this all together, we standardize on a set-top box made by Amino. And the reason why we work with Amino is there are set-top boxes out there that are a little bit less expensive, but they're here for 6 months and they get upgraded and they're not compatible. You kind of get what you pay for. You get a set-top box out of China and you may lose support or upgradability or scalability down the road. The Amino is a rock-solid platform from a rock-solid company. When they come out with a new set-top box, it's always reverse compatible. So we've standardized on this platform, and then we add our own special sauce. Our IPTV middleware, the Vidovation TV middleware, reflashes the memory and the software on the Amino. So it's a great piece of hardware, but we supercharge it with our hardware. And one of the things that you'll see maybe in other systems, whether cable, satellite, or competing IPTV systems is it's the channel zapping. And you hit the up button, and it seems to take forever to change channels. So you hit it again, or you have a tendency to double tap, and then you're jumping 2 channels, and then there's delay between those jumps. With our system, part of our special sauce, part of being able to decode the video quickly in the set-top box allows the user to easily channel surf and to see the content as you're jumping from channel to channel. So that's part of the reason why we like the Amino set-top box so much. All right, let's see here. So let's see. So I mentioned the interactive program guide, how we get that from Tribune. Our systems will support, I mean, no one's really using MPEG-1 anymore, but you'd be surprised, a lot of the cable operators, satellite, because there's so many legacy set-top boxes on the satellite side and the cable TV side that you're going to see a lot of MPEG-2 coming in. So our set-top boxes will work with MPEG-1 to, we prefer MPEG-4 or H.264 because it's more efficient. In some cases, we will transcode to H.264. We can support SD and HD. I kind of touched on this, you know, the access to channels. So channel management, you know, so you may not want the students to have access to distracting content while in class, let's say. You might only want certain educational channels available. You wouldn't want ESPN or soap operas or whatever, entertainment type content. So you can control who can see what content, even by location or login credentials or administrative rights. And again, it all ties into the Active Directory. Rapid channel changing I discussed. Some of this is getting a little redundant, but you can see here closed captioning support. So a lot of the features that the content provider offers, set alternate languages, second languages, closed captioning, all that comes through the system. So those features and capabilities come through. We can do all the advanced TV environments. What I like to tell people, I won't name who my cable operator is at home, but you know, I have a long day at work, and I come home, want to watch an hour of TV before I want to go to bed, and a lot of times my set-top box is hung up, needs to be rebooted. It takes minutes to come back up. So we offer our clients an environment that is similar to what they're used to. It's a similar environment to satellite or cable, so it's not a big learning curve. Oh my God, how do I watch TV now? I need an instruction manual. We give you all those features: fast forward, rewind, stop, pause, video on demand, DVR capabilities, but it's all in a familiar environment. And you'll see on the coming slides how it is very similar to what the students are used to. We can schedule programming, playback programming at a certain time. Students can bookmark and review things. So if it's a longer educational piece and they got to run to class, they can bookmark the video and resume it later. You know, so some of the higher end features that you might see from your cable or your satellite provider, we can provide some of that capability in our environment. And so you can see here, you know, it's similar. You have like a menu structure, you know, live TV, video library. You can have some of the informational channels. You can push messages to the students. You know, remember, registration for next semester starts on Tuesday, so you can send push like an email type of a message or text message to all the subscribers, all the students. And we can support other languages too. So if you have a multicultural school, we can offer other language support right in the system. Another cool thing is that your IT or your web development departments may like this. The look and feel, the branding, the color scheme is all controllable with cascaded style sheets, which is a web term for easy control of your website or your HTML environment. So whoever manages the enterprise or the university's website could program or control the look and feel of the environment in the TV system. Or if you prefer us to do it, you just give us, the university logo. We'll give you an array of colors to choose from, and we can customize the environment for you. So let's see here. Again, I touched on this. So for the user management, user reports, I touched on this. These email alerts. It's not really interactive. You could push messages to the students. We do have some more advanced modules where there could be some interaction where the students can reply or do more like survey type things, but it's more like informational where you push a message out, hey, lunch special in the cafeteria today on bacon cheeseburgers, or registration on Tuesday for next semester, that sort of thing. And then the emergency alert integration, which is growing. I mean, that capability alone could be a reason why to implement an IPTV system on campus. Just keeping the students safe. It would be very difficult to integrate an emergency alert capability on an old school cable or satellite system. It's just not easily done. Never want to say it's impossible to do, but it would be very difficult to do. So here's an example of a given. This looks like actually a hotel skin that we made for a hotel we were working with. But this could have your university logo and colors here, and you see your traditional electronic program guide. The items in green are going to be recorded. So it's a very similar look and feel. You see little previews of the thumbnails of the different channels and whatnot. So it's a very familiar environment. With some of our clients, encryption is important, or the studios are very worried about videos being bootlegged, movies being bootlegged and stolen. So everything is encrypted and on the network and secure. If we're importing university content, whether it's recorded lectures, HR training videos, we don't normally recommend our clients tell the video on demand server to go out and find every piece of video on the network you can find. It's better to go in a systematic, because something unauthorized may accidentally be put into the system. It's better to have the administrators work with IT and just say, okay, here's our current semester's recorded lectures. Let's ingest those. The system will look at the title of the videos, the metadata of the videos. If certain content, the titling is not clear, when videos are ingested, that can be cleaned up. The titles can be cleaned up, the metadata that can be sorted out. And video can be put in different groups, different categories, so to make it easy for the students to find. Let's see. So I've touched on most of this already, I think. Integration with the Active Directory, network storage devices. It's all web-based interface, so the IT department can log into the servers even from home. You can remote in and control the system. The configuration of the video library is very straightforward. The ingest process is not overly complicated. Our IT departments, granted, a lot of the resistance we get from IT guys is like, this system's going to, cause me to have more of a workload, but a positive way to look at it, it's also job security. So it may add another group of tasks to your daily workflow from the IT and administrative standpoint, but your college will be more highly acclaimed by having state-of-the-art IPTV and video distribution capabilities. IT department, you may have a little bit more workload, but this will be an important aspect of your job. The IT departments may need to be expanded to have administrators to manage this system. So we'll work with you and train you. Our installs, we usually come out for a couple of days to do the installation. We work closely with IT, and then there's usually a day of training. So we will train everyone on all aspects of the system. Oh, here's an important feature. So our middleware, as well as the set-top box that we have chosen, the Amino, it's all based on open architecture, standards-based architecture. So as your IPTV system grows, we would hope you would come back to Vidovation to do expansion, to buy more encoders, more set-top boxes. But it's an open architecture. You're not locked into a single vendor. Other manufacturers put up roadblocks, hurdles, proprietary software, proprietary hardware, so that it's harder for the client to use other parties' equipment. We will even sit alongside other IPTV systems. So if you have a pre-existing IPTV system, a more simple system, we will work with those systems and add the added capability on top of those systems. So we play nice with others. You know, our equipment is open, and as a business, I mean, we do have some proprietary type technology and products, but wherever possible, we try to keep things as open, open standard, open architecture as possible. And then, as I mentioned, you know, digital signage integration. We have signage capability built into some of our platforms, or a simple way to do it is just dedicate a channel to advertising, you know, and it's usually channel 0 or whatever the first channel is, or it's the default channel that comes up when you turn on your TV or turn on your set-top box, that the informational channel or the signage channel is the first channel that plays. And it could be as simple as a PC running a PowerPoint loop, or a computer running a video loop, or it could be a video clip sitting on the media server just running in a loop, and we encode that and put that out on the channel. Or it can be as sophisticated as a very high-end digital signage system with ticker tapes and weather updates, you know, in a video crawl, and with video inlays or multiple video inlays. So we can kind of, you know, do very simplistic things or build up to very, very high-end type systems. Our systems are integrate with other systems through API. So if you have a centralized billing system as part of your university, we probably already have support for it. If you're using something new or not quite so mainstream that we've done already on other university or college installs, I'm sure our professional services or our IT guys can connect our APIs to their billing system or management system APIs. So we're used to doing some customization, and don't be scared by that. You know, we will give you a definitive scope of work, and the costs and the hours necessary to write that software will be well documented, and you know, you won't be like, whoa, wait a minute, you said it was $2,000. Why is there a $10,000 bill? We don't no surprises. We're very transparent with that. So we're very economical, and we always work within our client's budget. So here's just an example. This would be more of an educational type interface. So this is like the computer environment. So you'd have more of a directory or a computer type infrastructure. You can see here we have some alternate languages here available for students. But you know what they're used to at home. You can click on little thumbnails, find different video content on the network for viewing. You know, and again, this is a little redundant, but you can see some of the capabilities: interactive program guide, bookmarking, encryption, AES encryption. and then support of the different MPEG standards. So there's really no limitations. Whatever we support on the desktop, we can support on the desktop or on the set-top box or on the iPad. When we're streaming to smart devices, we usually need a gateway appliance that lowers the bit rate. So, you know, to the desktop or on the network, whether it's the desktop or the set-top box, we can handle an 8 or a 10 megabit stream. If we're going to stream over Wi-Fi or off-campus to smart devices, our gateway device may need, it probably will require some transcoding to lower the bit rate so it's practical to stream to different devices. And you know, as we all know, Apple devices don't support Flash, so we would need to convert to HLS or H.264 or HLS, or a format that's friendly for the iPhone or the iOS devices. Same thing for Android. So we would convert the signal, and then the system analyzes the device making the request for the video. So if it's an Apple device, we stream HLS. If it's an Android device, we stream whatever the given appliance will support. So that all happens in the background. So we would help with that capability. And then, you know, here's a close-up shot of you know, so here's a channel being recorded. So a little red button showing a little red light showing that this channel is being recorded. You can have some branding interweaved, you know, pictures from the school in the background or thumbnails of the channel guide, and then you can have the logo or school branding in the background in colors. And again, you know, that's all can be controlled through a cascaded style sheet. And sorry about that. You know, what do they say? I didn't mute my phone, but sorry about that, guys. So you know, this can all be controlled with a cascaded style sheet, as we said. And encryption support goes through all aspects of the network. So there's no exception. Encryption to the set-top box, encryption to the media player, login credentials, and encryption to the smart device. It's a seamless environment that we create for your students and personnel. So let's see. So again, you know, and then, you know, we talk about these advanced features. So this could be an important function. You know, maybe not everyone is able to DVR and record. So you can turn certain capabilities on and off. You know, maybe something is a one-time use, proprietary information. Maybe you don't want recorded, that sort of thing. You can control those capabilities. As I mentioned, you know, we take IT protocols. You know, we can have backup storage devices, failover devices, mirrored arrays. So if video is critical, video playback is critical, we can mirror on different devices, do RAID arrays to keep everything secure and scalable. We can scale up the storage, and we can integrate with existing storage that's available on the IT network, or we can install storage array devices and appliances as part of the system we roll out if you need more storage. And again, everything is incremental, so maybe video on demand and personal video recording comes at a later date. You don't have to buy everything all at once. We're not going to force that on you. Some of the bigger players in this space, the cost of entry, the cost to build out a head end is so prohibitive that unless you have thousands of users, it's hard to rationalize the cost. We have systems, we have programs that it works very nicely with, you know, if you only have couple of hundred users, it scales very nicely. So we can work with all different types of systems and different sizes of systems. This is just another slide showing the environment. But you can see, again, you know, whether it's on the set-top box or on the smart device, the interface can be made very similar. The continuity of look and feel and logoing, branding and colors. We can stream live weather, news, RSS feeds, so we can tie that into a given channel. So, we could have an informational video running and then have like a news RSS feed running at the bottom. So all kinds of different things. And if you have something unique to your university or some feature on your wish list, our engineers would love to hear about it, and hopefully we can meet that challenge, solve that issue, solve that problem, offer that capability. A lot of times too, once we've committed with a client, we'll come out, do a site survey. We like to see, do an audit of the network and the switches and the routers you have on the network to see if they're suitable for IPTV. Our support department will work with you about customizing the user interface, integrating any billing modules, and then automate the integration of the set-top boxes and the PCs. The cool thing is that the set-top box deployment is very streamlined. You add a set-top box to the network, you punch in some credentials, boom, the set-top box appears as like another PC or appliance on the network. So you can give different levels of credentials to each type of set-top box, whether it's in a classroom, in a teacher's lounge, in a public area, in a private area, in a dorm. You can categorize the set-top boxes. Same thing with the PCs. What happens is there's no software needed. It all works through a browser. The students would log into a URL or an IP address, and then the player would just load automatically into the browser, so that there's not a lot of IT tech support and implementation during rollout. Once the head end is installed and running, and we do some training, the deployment is very straightforward, and most IT departments can handle that. And again, if your IT department is a little thin, we can provide extra services to help with the rollout. Again, with the cascaded style sheets, again, you can see here, we can customize everything that you see here to your corporate or university look and feel. So let's see here. Yeah, I touched on this. So the admins or the IT guys, it's a web-based console. They can remote in. Automated user system tracking, whether this is for billing or just usage statistics, you can track all of that. Another cool thing is if there are server upgrades, set-top box firmware upgrades, we can push updates to the server, upgrade the server, and then the upgrades to the appliances on the periphery gets pushed out by the server automatically, or if IT wants to control that process. But you probably want to push upgrades to your set-top boxes at midnight, or, well, they're college kids, they're going to be up all night. You're probably 5 o'clock in the morning. You want to push your updates to your set-top boxes out. Another aspect that our clients like, I'm sure, like most organizations, you'll have security cameras. So this is just an example of how we could tie in the security and surveillance, and you'd probably only want to give access to this to the administrative staff, so they could log in, watch live TV, watch pre-recorded videos, HR videos, and also monitor the on-campus security system. In other words, if there is a lockdown event, the administrator could be barricaded in their office, but they can see what's happening on campus, on cameras. And this feed could even be given, access to this feed can be provided to local law enforcement, so they have eyes on campus to deal with the emergency situation that's unfolding on campus. And you can see here how we stream over the network to computers, notebooks, and handheld devices. So I mentioned in the head end that we provide appliances to encode, transcode, convert videos or convert streams to make them more friendly for smart devices. We have enterprise grade and encoder cards, transcoder cards that sit in an open gear appliance like this. We have larger platforms with more capability, more of a heavy-duty enterprise grade platforms, or we have standalone little appliances like this that can do up to 6 channels in one rack unit. Again, not to be too technical, or 20 channels in 2 RU units. So that kind of wraps things up. I hope I provided you guys with some educational benefit. Again, I tried not to go too technical. Again, we'd love to hear about your applications, your needs, your struggles. We'd love to learn more about your business. We'd love to hear your questions, and we would like permission to ask you questions about your business, about your enterprise, about your university, your specific needs. We're here to serve you. We're here to help you succeed. And like I said, we'd love a shot at trying to help you. Most of our clients we can help, but in those rare circumstances where we can't help, reaching out to Vidovation will never be a waste of time. If we can't help you, we'll refer you to someone that can. So unless you guys have any questions, we'll stay on the line for a minute or so more. I don't see any questions. Probably early next week, my colleague Troy will be sending you a recording of this video. So it'll be the PowerPoint with my narration to go with it. We will send you all a copy. Feel free to share that with friends, colleagues, customers, IT departments. It'll also be available. If you visit the download section of our website, you'll find white papers, presentations, past webinars. You'll eventually find this webinar on there next week. So you can direct clients to that, and they can register with their name and email address to download that at any time. So unless there's any question, folks, I thank you again for spending the better part of an hour with us. And be sure to visit our website at vidovation.com. That's VIDOVATION.com. And we look forward to hearing from you. Thank you very much, and have a great day.